Okay, thank you.
Right. Can I hear a baby? Just like to say thank you all for attending tonight. And before we get onto the business, I'd just like to say a thank you to all the councillors, actually, because it has been probably the most bizarre year most of us have lived through. Certainly, although it's my 4th year as mayor, it's quite weird in that all I've done is basically sign checks and haven't kissed babies, haven't shaken hands, haven't done anything. But I must say, however, that whenever any of the councillors have been asked to step up and do things, you've all just got on with it. And the council has actually functioned with our staff, and I can't speak too highly of the staff during the COVID crisis. They kept the council going and really kept us all on an even keel. So thank you to the staff and thank you to my fellow councillors. Right, I'll go on to the first item on the agenda, to elect a town mayor. Are there any proposals? Councillor Langford, you've put your hand up.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to propose Councillor Ruth Craigie as mayor. She talks a lot of sense. She works hard for those she represents and always does her research. I know she'll work hard for the residents of Bideford, and also that she particularly wants to focus on our children and young people, which should be no bad thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a seconder to Councillor Mrs. Craigie? I've got lots of hands up, but I'm not sure if they're seconding or... Councillor James Craigie, you are seconding. Thank you. Right, I'll move on. Councillor James Craigie, you were first. I don't know if you want to say anything. No. Councillor Linda Hellier.
Can I make another nomination?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I sent it to Heather. I didn't know we did it because I'd sent it into Heather. Well, I haven't asked him. Councillor Ratcliffe, because I think he would make an excellent mayor.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for Councillor Ratcliffe? Councillor Hawkins. Thank you. Councillor Bushby, your hands up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was going to propose Councillor Mackenzie for mayor. He's an Easter Water councillor, and I think it's time that we had an Easter Water councillor. Once again, we've had 3 Bideford North members. It's about time it's Easter Water's town. This is his 2nd term as a councillor, and I think his experience and the fact that this is his 2nd term and he lives in the heart of the town, I think he would make a very good mayor. So I will propose Councillor Mackenzie.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for Councillor Mackenzie? Councillor Gubb. Thank you. Councillor Gubb, you had your hand up. Was that to second or was it? Right, yeah, thank you. And nobody else has put their hand up, so we have 3 nominations, which I must admit I can never ever remember having 3 before. It's going to be interesting. Right, I'll take them in the order they were proposed.
Councillor Christie, sorry, can I just explain that under our standing orders we have to do it under a special way. So if there's more than two councillors put forward, we take a vote on each of them, and then the 3rd one with the least votes drops off, and then we take a vote between the next 2 again. So I'm afraid it's a bit convoluting, but I did check our standing orders before I came in.
Thank you for that. As I say, I've never known 3 candidates before, so I've never heard of that. Right, you all heard that. So it's a straight vote. You only vote once, and we'll count the votes up at the end, and the one who's got the least drops off, and then we do a tie break. Right, I'll go through as they were suggested. So Councillor Mrs. Craigie first. Can I have your votes for Councillor Mrs. Craigie? Can you show, please? No, we're only voting for her at the moment, so you don't need to put up the abstain. I'll ask for those in a minute. So this is just a straight vote. You don't need to abstain or vote against. It's just numbers, right? So those in favour of Councillor Mrs. Craigie, can you show? That's 3 I can see. Thank you. Right, I'll move on. Those for Councillor Ratcliffe, can you show? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I make that 8. Is that right, Heather?
Sorry, I was muted. 8. Yeah.
8, right. And lastly, Councillor Mackenzie, if you can show for Councillor Mackenzie.
No.
2. Thank you. Right, in that case, Councillor Mackenzie drops out.
Yeah.
And it's between Councillor Craigie and Councillor Ratcliffe. So I'll ask you again, just a straight vote. Those in favour of Councillor Mrs. Craigie, can you show? That's 4.
4. Yeah.
Thank you. Those in favour of Councillor Ratcliffe, can you show? 9. Right, in that case, Councillor David Ratcliffe is duly elected. So I'm handing over to you, David, and I wish you luck.
Right, I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's good. Yes, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Outgoing Mayor. Thank you very much for everything you've done and keeping the council ticking along quite merrily. Been greatly appreciated in a very difficult time for us all. And thank you, everybody, for supporting me. And I shall do my very best to look after you all as we're coming out of this terrible nightmare we've been living through. So let's hope it's another new chapter just starting. So thank you very much, Mr. Outgoing Mayor. And all the very best.
Councillor Ratcliffe, could I just say, I've made you co-host, so you should be able to see now who's, as your reward. So you should be able to see now who's got their hands raised, and Councillor Bushby's got his hand raised. Yeah.
Right, yep. Okay, Councillor Bushby.
sorry, Chair. I was just going to wait for you to propose, to, move on to the second item. That's all. And then I'll speak.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much. That's a gentle nudge. Okay, item 2 on the agenda, that's to receive the town mayor's declaration of acceptance of office, or if not, then receive to decide when it shall be received. So I need to refer that to the town clerk, if I may.
I have it ready in the office, so when you wish to come in and sign it, that will be in order, I believe.
Okay, thank you. If I call in tomorrow then, and I'll do that for you.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, item 3 on the agenda is to elect a deputy town mayor. So do we have any nominations? Councillor Bushby.
I'd like to propose Councillor Mackenzie for the position of deputy mayor. I think you'll be an excellent substitute for you if ever you find that you're otherwise engaged or double booked or anything like that, Mr. Mayor. And I think he will be a great asset to the town. And hopefully next year we'll step up to be an equally good mayor. As I said, he's an Easterwater ward councillor, and I think it's about time that we had an Easterwater councillor as holding one of the 2 top offices. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor James Craigie.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Councillor Gubb. She's a very good councillor for Easterwater, and she did stand to be deputy last time, and I hope that she becomes deputy this time.
Okay, thank you very much. And Councillor McGough.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations on this evening. Look forward to working with you over this ensuing year. I'd like to second Councillor Bushby's proposal of Councillor Jamie Mackenzie being Deputy Mayor of the town. Jamie is a very hard-working councillor. I wasn't in favour of him being Mayor, only reason for his work commitments to be in order for next year. And I've spoken to Jamie personally, this will be in order. And I think Jamie would be a great advocate for the town. And whether it's east, west, or over the north side, it doesn't make no odds to me. is the right person for the job, and I think Jamie's capable of doing this. So I support Jamie 100%. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, councillor. Do we have any other nominations for deputy? Councillor Heron?
Hello, I'd like to nominate Councillor Corf, if I could, please.
Okay. Righty-ho. Okay, well, if there's no one else, I will go to the vote now.
Oh, Councillor Ratcliffe, we still need seconders for
oh, yes, sorry.
Councillor Mrs. Gubb and Councillor Mrs. Corf.
Yep, okay, and Councillor Mackenzie.
No, we have a seconder for Councillor Mackenzie.
Oh, we have, yes,
Yeah.
we do. Okay, do we have a seconder for Councillor Gubb? I'll second that one. And Councillor Corf, do we have a seconder for Councillor Corf?
Councillor
Okay,
Hawkins.
Councillor Hawkins.
Price.
So we'll need to use the same method again.
Right. Okay. So Councillor Mackenzie was first. So how many would like to support Councillor Mackenzie becoming deputy?
Five.
I have to rely on you, Heather. I haven't got all up on my screen.
Leslie's nodding. Five.
5. Okay, thank you. And the next proposal was for Councillor Gubb. If you'd like to show your support, if you'd like to vote for Councillor Gubb.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Councillor Corf, those who would like to support Councillor Corf as deputy.
3.
3.
Right. 3. Yeah, that's right. 14 people.
Okay, so the choice will now be between Councillor Mackenzie and Councillor Gubb. So we take the first one. Councillor Mackenzie, would you like to show your support? Councillor Mackenzie.
6.
6. Thank you. And councillors, would you please show your support for Councillor Gubb as deputy?
8. 8.
Thank you.
We
So
can
Councillor Gubb, sorry.
Yes. Sorry, we're consistently only having 14 councillors vote, and I'm sure that I've ticked 15 in.
Matter.
Okay.
Okay, Heather?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that means that Councillor Gubb, you are voting as deputy mayor, and
Well done, Jude.
Really hard work.
Well done.
Yeah. And commiserations.
Congratulations,
So, yeah, congratulations are in order to everybody, and we now have a deputy town mayor. Okay, so moving on to item 4 on the agenda, that's to accept apologies for absence, if we have any.
No, I haven't had any apologies for absence. No.
Right, okay, Heather, thank you. Item 5 on the agenda is to receive declarations of interest on items on the agenda and note the requests for dispensation received by the clerk prior to the meeting. Do we have any at all, Heather?
Councillor Christie's got his hand up.
Councillor Christie.
Item 19, I'm the British trustee.
Okay. Thank you very much. Right. Item 6 on the agenda is the public participation session of 15 minutes duration on items submitted prior to the meeting by Bideford residents, which fall within the scope of the council's activities. Do we have anything, Town Clerk?
Yes, Councillor Tony Inch would like to speak.
Okay, Councillor Tony Inch, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me okay, everyone?
I can hear you beautifully.
And congratulations on your appointment. Very well done for the second time.
Thank you.
I hope I can get through this fairly. I'm just on your. You said that you are signing up to the climate change, and I've noticed that on all occasions that your energy suppliers aren't particularly green. Now, I would like the council, Bideford Town Council, will look at this a bit, because, you know, I get my energy from a company called Bulb, and there is lots of other energy companies out there that are green. And I think the council, if you signed up to this thing, you should be looking to get your energy from a source that is green. And actually, Bulb, that I get my energy from, are very competitive, and most of them are. The other thing is, that's one of the items. The other thing is the Queen's 70th anniversary next year. And I did bring it up at a tourist committee, and I think this is something that the whole of the council should be looking at. It's only just over 12 months away when she's done 70 years for this country, and I think she's served us very well. And I just think Bideford should put on a bit of a show for that. You know, we've seen Peter Christie's things in things on where they put magnificent tree, you know, things up, things like that. I think we should just make a bit of a show of this, because 70 years is, I don't think it's going to happen for, you know, well, another 100 years. So I think we should celebrate this in a good old-fashioned Bideford way, if we can. The other thing is Mill Street and Owen Street. Whoever wins the next East the Water election for Dem County Council, I think Bideford Town Council should break it up, Tony. And can you hear me now? No.
Yeah, I lost you. I'm sorry.
Right, let's go somewhere else then. It might work. I was just thinking that the can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I was just thinking that the Owen Street and Mill Street, if you could press the Dem County Council to make it pedestrianised all the time, because we have to get our high streets back into sort of into the economy after this pandemic. And I just think it would be wonderful if we could have a nice street scene through Mill Street and Owen Street, through there, street furniture and what you like. It would make a very good tourist attraction. I've lost my notes now, but that's all I want to say, I think. But just to put some ideas into the Bideford Town Council's heads, as it were. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Inch. I'll just respond to one thing that you mentioned with regard to the Queen's anniversary. We've got a very good team on this town council. I'm sure they'll be banging their heads together and coming up with some brilliant ideas. So I'll keep you posted on what we can do regarding that. Okay, thank you. Now we're moving on to item 7 on the agenda, which is to approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 8th of April as a correct record. If anybody would like to,
I'll move them, Chair.
thank you, Councillor Bushby. Do we have a seconder?
I'll second them.
Councillor Heron, thank you. All those in favour? Can you see that, Heather?
Yes, we're back to 15 now. That was unanimous on 15. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Item 8 on the agenda is to approve the payments listed on the accounts, which we should all have had a copy of by now. We have a proposer for those.
I'll propose them, Chair.
Thank you. And Councillor Bushby, are you seconding that?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. All those in favour? Are we back to 15, Heather?
Yeah. Yes,
Lovely.
I believe so. Yeah, 15.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, item 9 on the agenda is to receive such communications as the town mayor or the town clerk may wish to lay before the council. I have nothing at the moment. How about you, Heather? You have
I just have one thing, just that I've heard this afternoon that the vacancy in South Ward, there'll be an election held. So not a co-option. They're sorting it out at the moment. So we'll get the details.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Well, we'll wait to hear on that then. Thank you. Okay, number 10, agenda item 10. That's to appoint members to serve on the following committee working groups. Now, I'm sure you know which committee you're sitting on. If you're not sure, I do have a list, which I can remind you with. If you wish to stay on the same committee, that's your choice. If you wish to change to a fresh committee, that's also your choice as well. So it's entirely up to you. So we will start with the allotments committee. Now, do you want me to read off who's actually sitting on that committee? Would that help everybody?
I think it would, yeah.
Okay, so allotments, that's the Deputy Town Mayor, Councillor Mrs. Craigie, Councillor James Craigie, Councillor Mrs. Gubb, Councillor Hawkins, Councillor Heron and Councillor Lawrence. So at the moment, you will sit on that.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to stand down from that committee if that's possible.
Okay, so we'll take you off that.
Heather, well, sorry, Chairman, if I may, you've said Deputy Town Mayor and then you said Councillor Mrs. Craigie. Well,
yes, that's how it's listed on here. I made a mistake.
Yeah, indeed. That's how it's listed, i.e. the Deputy Town Mayor. So the Deputy Town Mayor would fill it. So that would be Councillor Gubb.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for telling me that.
So in effect, Councillor Gubb was also listed there. So it's whether or not Councillor Mrs. Craigie wants to come back.
Indeed. Thank you, Deputy Town Clerk, for that. Okay, so Councillor Mrs. Craigie, do you wish to remain on this committee or not?
No, thanks.
No? Okay, then.
Okay.
So with the Deputy Town Mayor, then that's Councillor Gubb. Councillor Craigie, do you wish to remain? That's James Craigie?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Councillor Hawkins, do you wish to remain? No reply.
Yeah, I would step down from that one if it was possible. Thank you.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I'd like to step down from that one if it was possible.
Step down, okay. And Councillor Heron.
Yeah, I'll stay, please, if I can.
Okay, that's fine. Right, do we have any proposals or anybody who would like to sit on the allotments committee? Don't all rush at once. No?
I'll sit on the allotments committee since nobody else wants to come forward, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Mackenzie.
Yeah, I'll go on it if you've still got another vacancy.
Thank you, Councillor Mrs. Hellier.
7.
So that leaves us with one vacancy. We could leave it for the new councillor.
Okay. All right, is everybody happy with that? Now, shall we do a block vote at the end of the appointments to the committees, Heather, or do you want to do one at a time?
Yeah, we can do a block vote at the end. As long as we've got a consensus about who's going to go on each committee. If we're oversubscribed for any one committee, then we'll have to take the names individually. But we've got a consensus there, so we can do it on block, I think.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the Market Management Committee then. We have at the moment Councillor James Craigie, Councillor Mrs. Corf, Councillor Hawkins, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, Councillor Mackenzie, and we also have a vacancy.
Normally we would also have either the deputy mayor or the mayor on each committee, but somehow that's not happened with Market. So normally yourself or Councillor Mrs. Gerb.
Okay. Well, if you like, I will propose myself to sit on that committee.
I'll second that, Chair. Councillor Mackenzie.
I think Councillor Mrs. Corf has got her hand up. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Councillor Corf, sorry.
I'd like to step down from Market Management Committee, please.
Okay. Righty-ho. So we're still looking. So Councillor James Craigie, Councillor Hawkins, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, Councillor Mackenzie, you're all quite happy to remain then? Councillor Bushby?
No, I'd like to step down, please.
Yep. And Councillor Heron's got his hand up as well.
Yeah, sorry, Councillor Bushby, I think you were first.
Yeah, I was just going to volunteer to sit on the Market Management Committee.
Okay. Thank you. And Councillor Heron?
Yeah, same here.
Right.
That's 6.
So I think we're up to the full.
That's up to numbers, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. Thank you, Heather. Moving on to the Planning Committee. Currently, we have Councillor Christie, Councillor Bushby, Councillor Heron, Councillor Lawrence, Councillor Mrs. Langford, and myself. I'm quite happy to stay on planning.
So you would be on now as town mayor then?
Yes, I would.
Councillor Christie as a committee member?
Yeah.
That would work, yeah.
I agreed to step down to let somebody from the East Ward take my place, so we had a representation across the whole of the town.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thank you for that. Yes, you did mention that in the past. So do we have somebody from East of Ward, or a councillor from East of Ward who would like to sit on planning?
Yeah, I will. No one else wants to.
Good. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Hellier. Councillor Mrs. Hellier. So I think we're up to speed with that one then, Heather.
We have some hands up there. We've got Councillor Mrs. Corf and Councillor Mrs. Craigie. They've both raised their hand.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs. Craigie.
Thanks. I was just going to propose James go on the planning committee from East the Water.
Okay, so
I think if Linda wants to go on it, it's better that she take it.
Okay.
I don't mind. I don't want to fall out over it. If you want to do it, James, you can do it.
We don't want any fallouts. 50-50?
No, I'm quite happy for Linda to do it.
All right. Okay. So Councillor Mrs. Hellier, you're in on planning then.
Councillor Corf has still got a hand up.
And Councillor Corf.
Yeah, I'd like the opportunity to go on planning. I think it's my bag. I live my life for housing and homelessness, and I think being on the planning committee would really suit that.
Right. Do we have room for another councillor, town clerk?
Only if somebody wants to come off, but Councillor Heron's put his hand up. So shall we hear what he has to say?
Indeed, councillor Heron.
Oh, yeah, I'll step down for Councillor Corf.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Okay, so
that
councillor
works.
Corf, yes, so councillor Corf, you'll be on planning then, okay? Everybody happy with that? Jolly good. Moving on to staffing, finance and general purposes committee.
So you will be on as town mayor
Yes,
and Councillor Mrs. Gubb as deputy town mayor.
yeah,
So that's 2. So you're on anyway. Okay.
yeah,
So
Okay.
we've got lots of hands up now.
yeah, indeed we have. Councillor Lawrence,
I'd like to put myself forward for staffing and finance, please.
okay. Rightio, thank you. And councillor Corf,
I'd like to put myself forward for staffing and finance, please.
okay. Councillor Christie,
Yes, so although I'm stepping down as town mayor, I would like to stay on staffing and finance.
okay, thank you. Councillor Heron,
Yeah, I'd like to put myself forward as well, if I could, please.
okay. So that. Councillor Mrs. Craigie, do you wish to stay on that committee?
I would like to.
Okay. Councillor Bushby,
Definitely.
yes?
Yeah. Why do you think everyone else wants to be on that? Because I'm there.
I'm. Now.
Mr. Popular.
Why not? 2, 3, 4. How are we doing on the numbers there, Heather?
So I think we're 3 over.
Right. We got Councillor McGough, and we've also got Councillor Mrs. Hellier and Councillor Mackenzie on it as well. So are we anybody who wishes to step down?
We've got a couple of hands up. Councillor Christie and Councillor McGough have got both got their hands up.
Yep, Councillor Christie.
Sorry, I forgot to take my hand down. Sorry.
Okay.
That's all right then. Councillor McGough.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like
Sorry, I missed. No, I missed that completely.
Thank you.
No, you sound like a robot now. Can you hear us now, Councillor McGough? Dermot, come in, Dermot. No, we seem to have lost him at the moment.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Mayor. I would like to
No, you've gone again, Dermot. Can you try and
please? Thank you. Okay, I would like to stay on the committee. Thank you.
Right, thank you. I got that.
I can hear you. Yeah, I'd like to stay, please.
Right, okay, yeah, I heard that. Thank you. So how are we doing for numbers now then, Heather?
Can I just read out who I've got down, and
Yeah, sure.
anybody who I do wrong, tell me please.
Yeah.
So members who would wish to be members is I've got Councillor Bushby, Councillor Christie, Councillor Mrs. Corf. Sorry, Councillor Corf, Councillor Ruth Craigie, Councillor Mrs. Gubb, but she's on anyway because she's a deputy mayor.
Yes.
Councillor Hellier, Councillor Heron, Councillor Lawrence, Councillor McGough, Councillor Ratcliffe, but you're on as mayor, and Councillor Mackenzie. Is that correct?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Right.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, Councillor McGough. It's telling us your bandwidth is low.
Yeah, sorry. You know, I just said I'd like to stay in position, please.
That's all right. We'll let you off. Gotcha. So how are we doing for the numbers then, Heather? Does anybody else need to step down?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2.
2. Do we have 2 councillors who would like to consider stepping down from this committee? I'll take that as a no then. Councillor Hawkins.
Just a thought. Do we need the mayor and the deputy mayor on that committee? Can't one of them step down?
It's usually been the case that the mayor and the deputy mayor are on that committee. Whether that's in the constitution of the council, I wouldn't like to say, to be honest. Can you give us any guidance on that, Heather?
Well, the only thing you can do now is take a vote on each candidate.
Right.
So you wouldn't take a vote on yourself or Councillor Mrs. Gubb. So the easiest way to do it is if all councillors note down who the other 9 candidates are, and then we go through each councillor one by one, and they pick 7. And unless anybody's got any other suggestion.
Anybody have any other suggestion? Obviously,
Well, sorry, Mr. Mayor, I would have thought that, you know, if the present committee are willing to stand and don't show any sign of willing to stand down, and the maximum number is 9, and they're at capacity at 9, then you can't take any other nominations because the positions are already filled. Surely that's the way that you would go.
Heather?
I would say that we do appointments by a vote, so that we would have to have a vote. If there's more than 9 candidates, it needs to be decided by vote. It's the democratic way.
Right. Okay. Your word's final on that.
If I may, Chair, just to say
Yes.
that we have lost Councillor Wotton. He was on the committee as well, formerly.
Yeah, but it's not listed on the notification I've got here. So his name doesn't appear anyway. But thank you for letting us know that. I've got some hands up. Councillor Hawkins.
Yeah, thank you. It stuttered a bit. I'm not sure whether it was answered. Did we get an answer for whether it's in our constitution for the mayor and deputy to be on that committee, or is it just happens to be the way it's always been done?
I believe it happens to be the way it's always been done.
Okay, right. We'll have a think about that for a moment. Councillor Mrs. Hellier.
Well, I was going to agree with Councillor Bushby because I'm on the committee and I wanted to stay on the committee. And as looking at the list, you've got 1 vacancy and you've got 3 councillors who've said that they would like to apply for that 1 vacancy. So to me, the vote should be between those 3. That seems the most logical way to do it.
Right. I agree. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you for that. Councillor Heron.
I was just going to say, is it maybe about time we had some kind of carousel system that selected councillors for different roles or different committees?
Sorry? I'm just on a Zoom meeting, but it's okay. Come on, carry on. No.
No, someone needs to mute themselves.
Tony, can you hear you?
I'll mute him if I can find his name on the list. Hold on, I can mute him. There we go. I didn't know who was speaking.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe it's time that we had a carousel system or some kind of system that you know is more inclusive and fair to all councillors to have a chance at representing their constituents in each committee or different committees.
Well, maybe that's something we can think about, but we can't do that tonight, obviously. But it would have to go to the council for their approval. But yeah, I think, you know, that's something we'll have to consider. maybe you'd like to bring that up at another meeting, and we'll take it away and see what we can do. So coming back to what I think the town clerk or councillor Mrs. Hellier suggested was there were 3 further names who wished to sit on the Staffing and Finance and General Purposes Committee. If everybody's in agreement, that we can take a vote on those 3.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes. Councillor.
Sorry, but in that's kind of a dead man's shoes attitude, isn't it? You know, if nobody had left the committee, it would just stay as it was for 4 years. And whilst I appreciate, yes, if the committee's working well, then people would want to stay on it. But you do need to give other councillors the opportunity to take part in that committee. And as a new councillor at the last time the committees were picked, it was difficult to know which committees to be on. We've had 2 years of the same committee because of COVID. I think it's time that we had a bit of a swap round.
Yeah, fine.
We've got 7 people wanting to speak with their hands up.
Yes,
can you? Yeah, you can see that.
Councillor Christie.
Yeah, thank you. I have to disagree very strongly with Councillor Bushby and Councillor Hellier. No councillor has a right to stay on a committee. And all 9 councillors, because there are more than 9 people who want to be on it, they all have to put themselves forward to be voted on. You cannot do it any other way. I'm sorry. It would be completely illogical and very anti-democratic. And as Councillor Lawrence has just said, it would be dead man's shoes, and you just get fossilised committees. We all have to stand, and we all have to be voted on by our peers.
Yeah, well, you don't need to apologise, and thank you for that anyway. And yes, that's well worth reminding everybody of that fact. So we seem to be getting ourselves bogged down a bit here, but I'll take the other hands. Councillor Cole.
Actually, Peter Christie's answered everything in a nutshell that I was going to say. It's a democracy. We need to keep it like that.
Thank you. And Councillor Mrs. Craigie.
Yeah, I just wanted to say what Councillor Christie has said. I think that the Staff and Finance Committee is a very powerful committee, and I had to wait 6 years to get on it. And you have to take your turn, because those that are in power want to keep the power. And so I agree that we should all have a vote, and the people, new people should have a chance.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Thank you for that. So back to you, Town Clerk. So if we have a list of names of those councillors wishing to sit on that committee, and then we'll have to take a vote.
Is that the way you want to do it? I mean, we could either shout out everybody's name who wishes to be on the committee and then vote, or councillors could say which 7 or 9 they would like to vote for. It's up to you, really.
Right. Well, this could be a bit of a difficult one. So it depends what the consensus of opinion is with everybody, so that we can get through this rather quickly, because we seem to be getting ourselves bogged down with it. But I understand all the reasons why. So we can take a list of the names of those councillors who wish to sit on the committee, and then a vote to be taken as to which councillor may be proposed and then seconded, and then a vote taken on that particular councillor.
Yeah.
So is that the way you would like? Is that the way you would like us to proceed, councillors?
Councillor Christie has his hand up. We also need to decide whether we're voting on the mayor and deputy mayor as well as participants.
Okay, Councillor Christie.
Yes, I'd like to do it person by person. I can't see, us shouting out 7 names. Heather would lose track totally.
I've come prepared.
Oh, you come prepared. All right. We vote on each one, and personally, I'd like to see the mayor and the deputy mayor included. Actually, but that's only my view.
Okay, thank you for that. Does anybody else wish to speak before we commence? No. Okay, then. Thank you. So, who's the first one we have then, Heather? The town mayor and deputy, we know, are going to sit on it.
Okay, so we're going for that then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do it in alphabetical order then.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Councillor Bushby.
Sorry, Heather.
Mm,
Can I
sorry.
just clarify? What are we doing? We're voting 7 times. If you've got 11 candidates, or are we voting 9 times, not voting for 2? How are we doing it? Otherwise, we could all vote every time.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it's almost easier to shout out your 7 names, because then you're not voting. I can't keep track of who's voted for who. So if you say 7 names out of a possible 13 or however many it is, then I know that you've not voted yes more than the allocated amount of times.
Right. Does that make sense for everybody? I've got Councillor Christie's hand up.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute, but can I just ask before we do start the vote? I can't remember all the names. Can you read out the names before? And we've got to vote 7 times. Is that right?
Well, if I read out all the names, excluding the mayor and deputy mayor, that would leave 7 spaces. So you would say 7 names. I would use my clever grid that I've got. I would tick them, and then we would see who has got the most votes. And then we know that everybody's only voted for 7 people. They haven't, for example, voted for 9 people or 10.
Can you read out the names who have put forward? I can't remember who they were. I have to write them all down.
I will do. We've got a couple more speakers.
Yeah, I've just got some more hands going up. Councillor Mackenzie.
Are we just taking it as read that the deputy and the mayor are going to stand, or do we? I think we should vote on that, because if it's just been done as it always used to be done that way, I think that it should be a vote to whether we go forward with that idea or not.
I second that.
Perhaps change the constitution sometime.
Well, if we start there then with that suggestion, do we want to do that now?
Yes.
Yeah, let's vote.
Should we do that now?
Yeah,
if it's got to be changed, we'll do it now.
It's not in the constitution anyway. It's just the way we've always done it.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to take a vote? Sorry, Heather, you want to put down the names, didn't you?
Well, if you want to take a vote on whether the mayor and deputy mayor are automatically included or not, then we can go from there, and then I know how many names that we need to vote on.
Thank you. Well, let me I'll put my name down first as mayor, whether I actually stay on that committee or step down off it. If it's going to make life easier, I'll come off that committee, and then I can allow the deputy mayor to stay. I'm quite willing to do that to start things off. Is that okay with everybody?
No.
No, we've got a proposal on the table and we'd like to vote for it.
Okay.
So sorry, who put that proposal forward? I've forgotten now. That Councillor Mackenzie. Okay, so we need a seconder for that then.
I was willing to second it.
Right. So okay. So we need to take a vote now then. So the question is, so the proposal is that the mayor and deputy mayor are not automatically members of SFGP. Yeah.
No, I just said that we should vote on it. My proposal would be that they are returned, but we should vote on it and not just wave it through.
Okay, right. Sorry. So the proposal is, as Councillor Mackenzie says, so they are automatically members. No.
I propose that they aren't then.
So we need seconders for our proposals then. That's 2 counter.
I seconded the proposal that we determine whether they are or not. Now, I suppose we should, in theory, take a vote to see whether that is carried by the council, and then take the proposals of whether they should or shouldn't after that. Because
Okay.
if the majority of councillors don't want to vote on it, then we can't have a vote on it.
True.
I think everything's got a bit lost in translation here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Councillor Mackenzie was saying is that he would like a vote on whether the mayor and deputy mayor are automatically members of the committee. So if his proposal is that they are, and the vote is carried, then they are. And if the vote is lost, then they're not, and they have to go in the voting process with everybody else. That's how I interpret it.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Anybody unhappy with that?
No.
Okay.
Councillor Hawkins, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'm just actually, if it's not written in the constitution anywhere that is the way it should be done, why are we voting to have it changed? Put the mayor and the deputy mayor in amongst all the other members that want to be part of that committee and do it that way. There's no need for a vote because we're not changing anything. We're just getting away from this. That's the way we've always done it approach.
Yeah, that's true. But equally, if members are minded that the mayor and deputy mayor should be part of the committee, because there have been good reasons for that in the past, then that's the opportunity to carry on with that process. But it's not because that's the way it's always been done. It's because the mayor has a good oversight of what's going on in the whole council, and the deputy mayor would normally chair the SFGP committee to give them experience of chairing a larger committee to almost prepare them for being mayor. Those were the reasons in the past.
Can I come back on that, please, Mayor?
Yes, certainly.
I would say then, well, if people are aware that it makes sense for the mayor and deputy to be on that committee, then those two names will be in amongst the ones that are voted in. There's no need to have a separate vote to decide this.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That makes sense.
Okay, Heather, back to you then. Again, sorry. So where have we now got to?
Right, okay. So if everybody agrees, I think we put the whole lot of names in the hat, but members need to bear in mind that, you know, that the mayor and deputy mayor, it's good for them to be on that committee for those reasons. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Everybody happy with that? We've got to have happy people.
Councillor McGough has got his hand up.
He has. Councillor McGough. No, he disappeared now. Are you there, Councillor McGough? No, his hand's down now.
Oh, I took it down.
Oh. Okay then.
I think he's frozen.
He may well have frozen.
Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll read out the names, and I think as it stands,
oh, I think he's back. No, he turned into a robot again, Sorry, Councillor McGough, we've lost you.
Okay, I'll read out.
No, sorry. No, we can't hear you, Councillor. You're like a robot. Sounds very nice, but unfortunately, we can't understand what you're saying.
Can we message Councillor McGough that his internet isn't working and we just move on? Or is that rude?
We can't do that, actually. That used to happen to me and it annoyed me intensely because I was unable to vote on stuff.
I'm here, mate. No.
Dermot, try and stay in the same place.
It's fine.
Right, now try and talk now.
I won't say nothing. I'll just shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I read out the names, and you need to choose 9 out of the names I'm going to read out, and I'll need to go through each councillor individually, and they'll need to give me 9 from these names. I'll write them down and then add them up. Is that okay? Yeah. Right, so the names are Councillor Bushby, Councillor Christie, Councillor Mrs. Corfe, Councillor Ruth Craigie, Councillor Gubb, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, Councillor Heron, Councillor Lawrence, Councillor McGough, Councillor Ratcliffe, Councillor Mackenzie. So I'll give you all a moment to pick your 9 names.
Heather, is it just 10 names?
9.
9.
No, 10 names to pick from.
2, 4, 6, 8, 11.
I've got 11.
Councillor Bushby, Councillor Christie, Councillor Mrs. Corfe, Councillor Ruth Craigie, Councillor Mrs. Gubb, Councillor Hellier, Councillor Heron, Councillor Lawrence, Councillor McGough, Councillor Ratcliffe, Councillor Mackenzie.
Okay, sorry, can't count. Not a good CV from wanting to stand.
Councillor Mackenzie's got his hand up.
Councillor Mackenzie. No, it's down now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to say I was ready with my 9 names if you want to get the ball rolling.
Okay. Okay, Councillor Mackenzie.
Councillor Christie.
Yep.
Councillor Ruth Craigie.
Yep.
Councillor Bushby. Councillor Gubb. Councillor Hellier. Myself. Councillor McGough.
Hold on. Councillor McGough.
Councillor Ratcliffe.
Yep.
And Councillor Heron.
Right, just bear with me a minute. I've put one of them wrong. No, it was just the wrong Craigie I put down. I put James instead of Ruth. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Success. Okay. Right. So anybody else want to follow that lead? Councillor Mrs. Corfe?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yep.
Councillor Christie?
Yep.
Myself?
Yep.
Councillor Craigie, Ruth Craigie?
Yep.
Councillor Jude Gubb?
Yep.
Councillor Joel Heron?
Yep.
Councillor Peter Lawrence?
Yep.
Councillor Dermot McGough?
Yep.
Councillor David Ratcliffe?
Yep.
And Councillor Jamie Mackenzie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Bushby.
You're muted, Doug.
I do beg your pardon. The same as Councillor Mackenzie's list, except I had Councillor Lawrence instead of Councillor Heron. No disrespect, but I had already put that in.
1, 2, hold on. So Ruth. So you had, sorry, Councillor Lawrence. Oh God, I need a ruler. Sorry, I need to.
All right, Heather, you're doing a great
It's
job.
not the this is not the easiest thing to do. Yeah.
Should be grateful we just have this nightmare once a year.
Yeah.
If
Sorry.
there's any help, if there's any help,
I have got
I'll
it.
do it as well.
Well, we both need it though, really.
You want me to read it out?
So you said Councillor Lawrence, didn't you?
Yes.
No. Councillor. Yeah, could you read it out? I'm struggling, please.
Right, so that's the town mayor, deputy mayor,
Right, town mayor. Yep.
councillor Christie,
Yeah.
Councillor Mrs. Craigie,
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
Councillor Hellier,
Yeah.
Councillor McGough, Councillor Mackenzie,
Yeah.
Councillor Lawrence.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Who would like to go next?
Shall I do mine?
Thank you,
Councillor
Councillor.
Langford.
Yes, please.
Okay, Councillor Bushby, Councillor
Yeah.
Christie,
Yeah.
Councillor Corf,
Yeah.
Councillor Craigie, Councillor Gubb, Councillor Lawrence, Councillor McGough,
Hold on.
Councillor
Lawrence, McGough. Yeah.
Councillor Radcliffe,
Yeah.
Councillor Mackenzie.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Fine. Thank you.
Excuse me, Heather. Excuse me, Heather. May I ask Shirley through the chair? May I ask which Craigie, which councillor Craigie?
It's
Ruth Craigie.
Ruth Craigie, because James isn't put himself forward.
Shall I do mine? Councillor Heron?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, Councillor Heron.
Councillor Christie?
Yeah.
Councillor Corf?
Yeah.
Councillor Craigie?
Yeah.
Councillor Gubb?
Yeah.
Councillor Heron?
Yeah.
Councillor Lawrence?
Yeah.
Councillor McGough?
Yeah.
Councillor Ratcliffe?
Yeah.
Councillor Mackenzie?
Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yep, that's fine.
Who would like to go next?
I will, if you like.
Jude.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gubb.
Thank you. Councillor Bushby, Councillor Christie, Councillor Craigie, myself.
Is that Councillor Mrs. Craigie?
Yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Myself, Councillor Hellier, Councillor McGough, Councillor Mayor Radcliffe,
Yeah.
Councillor Mackenzie, and Councillor Heron.
Hold on.
Thank you.
2, 4, 6. Yeah, Councillor Heron. Yes, thank you.
Shall I go next, Heather?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Councillor Bushby,
Yeah.
Councillor Christie,
Yeah.
Councillor Mrs. Corf,
Yeah.
Councillor Mrs. Craigie,
Yep.
Councillor Gubb,
Yep.
myself,
Hold on. Yep.
Councillor Mrs. Hellier, Councillor McGough, and Councillor Mackenzie.
3, 6. Yep, that's right.
Thank you. Okay. Who's
Yeah.
next?
I do mine.
Thank you, Councillor Mrs. Hellier.
Right, if I can read it. So Councillor Christie, Councillor Ruth Craigie, Councillor Bushby, Councillor Gubb, me, Councillor McGough, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Radcliffe, and Councillor Lawrence.
2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you very much. Who's next on the Wheel of Fortune?
I've got Councillor Johns with his hands up.
Councillor Johns. Come in, Trevor.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Councillor Christie, Mrs. Ruth Craigie, Councillor Bushby, Councillor Gubb, Councillor Hellier, Councillor McGough, Councillor Mackenzie, the Town Mayor, and Councillor Heron.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And who's next?
Councillor Christie.
Thank you. Councillor Bushby, myself, Councillor Corf, Councillor Gubb, Councillor Heron, Councillor Lawrence, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor McGough, and Councillor Ratcliffe.
Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I go next?
Is that Ruth? Yes, please,
Yeah.
Ruth. Yeah.
Councillor Heron, Councillor Corf, Councillor Gubb, me, Councillor Mackenzie, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, and that's it.
2, 4. That's only 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, Councillor McGough,
7,
Councillor Bushby,
8,
Councillor Lawrence,
9.
That's a
Well
9.
done. Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Hawkins.
Councillor Christie, Councillor Corf, Councillor Ruth Craigie, Councillor Gubb, Councillor Heron, Councillor Lawrence, Councillor Ratcliffe, and Councillor Mackenzie.
Oh, hold on. 2, 4, 6. I've only got 8 there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 here. Ooh,
Oh, sorry. Could you run them by me again, please?
Councillor Christie.
Yep.
Councillor Corf.
Yep.
Ruth Craigie.
Yep.
Councillor Gubb.
Yep.
Councillor Heron.
Yep.
Councillor Lawrence.
Oh, hold on. No, yep.
Councillor McGough.
That's one I missed. Thank you.
I missed
Yeah.
my apologies.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor James Craigie.
No preference.
Okay, that's fine.
Councillor McGough.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. Can you hear me?
No, I think Councillor McGough, can you send me an email list?
It's a pity we had the chat turned off. It would have been easy.
I was asked to do that. I was asked to turn it off.
I know.
Maybe Councillor McGough could email me.
Can you hear that, Dermot?
We don't know.
Nod once for yes and nod twice for no.
So I think it's just. Oh no, we've got 2. We've got.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can now. Stay where you are.
No.
Yeah, I'll have to come off the meeting to do it.
Can Councillor McGough telephone in?
Yeah, you can phone. You could phone me if you likes.
Dermot, can you ring Heather?
I think he's got my mobile number. I can shout it out if that helps.
Have a go, Heather.
Yeah, it's 0781.
Yes, I do.
Do you want to phone me? And we'll take it like that.
Sorry, he says, I'm really sorry, I can't connect at all. He's just me and said that.
All right, shall we go with Councillor Lawrence while we wait and see?
Yes. Yep, thank you, Heather.
Okay, here's the my list. Councillor Bushby, Councillor Christie, Councillor Corf, Councillor Hellier, Councillor Heron, myself, Councillor McGough, Councillor Mackenzie, and Councillor Ratcliffe.
Thank you, Councillor Lawrence.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I haven't got Dermot coming through. Is that everybody? No, because James wasn't voting.
No, he wasn't.
Right, so
We're just waiting on Councillor McGough now.
shall I just start totting them up?
Yes, please, Heather.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just going to mute myself while I was counting to myself.
A bit like the Eurovision Song Contest.
Worse than that, nearly.
I thought porridge was bad.
Heather, I've got Dermot on the line. Do you want me to relay it?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
I'll let her get ready.
Yeah, yes, please. Yeah, okay.
Okay, go for it, Dermot. Councillor Corf.
Yeah.
Councillor Lawrence.
Hold on.
The Mayor and Deputy Mayor. Myself. Councillor Mackenzie, that is.
Yeah.
Councillor Hellier.
Councillor Hellier.
Councillor Bushby.
Hold on. Bushby.
I think so.
Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 more. Councillor Christie.
Christie.
And Councillor McGough himself.
Oh yeah, good thinking. Okay, thank you. So that makes that 11.
He apologises for his technical issues.
That 13. That 9. Okay. That's 11. Okay. I'm just going to mute myself again. Mute.
Mr. Chairman, can I just say something?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, because we had the speech Peter made after I'd spoken about not being democratic. I've got to say, this is my 2nd year on the council, and we didn't do this last year. Well, I don't think we did. I don't remember because of lockdowns and things. So it's quite a different system on the county. Whatever committee you're on it for the duration, for the 4 years, for consistency. Yeah. So I didn't know that you did all this change about every year. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. No problem at all. If you didn't know, you didn't know. But,
yeah, we didn't have this problem last time because you had one extra one, which was me, and I stepped down in order that there wasn't a vote.
But in the past, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, we've done as you said the county do, that we've just gone through all the names sitting on committees right to the very end, and Councillor said, "Yep, we're going to vote on that en bloc," and everybody's remained in the same place virtually for 2 or 3 years at a time. So that's just the way it's working out, really. But unfortunately, with technical glitches and one thing or another this evening, it's taken us a bit longer than we would normally anticipate. So we're just waiting for the count to come in now from our town clerk.
Sadly, Chair, you've got 3 tying on 9.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, so sorry, I've got 3 tying on 9 as well, but they're the lowest ones, so they'll come off.
Okay, well, it's the lowest ones. So, do we have a consensus of opinion on that?
Oh, right. So the 3 on 9 come off. 2, 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what Richard means. So that leaves us 8 and then 3 tying on 9, doesn't it? Am I right, Richard?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So
would it be a good idea for Councillor Craigie to vote instead of having no preference?
Or we all do a show of
Because
hands
obviously-
on the three that are nine.
Because this is a situation that was always, well, it potentially could have gone on. Or the mayor gets a casting vote. I don't know. You know, this.
Right, shall I tell you? Shall I tell you who's on then? So we've got Councillor Bushby, Councillor Christie. We've got Councillor Mrs. Corf on 9. We've got Councillor Ruth Craigie is on. Councillor Mrs. Gubbs on. Then the next 2 on 9 are Councillor Mrs. Hellier and Councillor Heron. And then we have Councillor Lawrence, Councillor McGough, Councillor Ratcliffe and Councillor Mackenzie elected. So we've got 3 tying on 9 and we only require 1 more. I think I've got that right.
Well, do we just do a sorry to interrupt, do we just do a vote on those 3?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Is everybody in agreement with that then? Yep. That's looking good. So
I just have to get another bit of paper.
Yeah, that's all right, Heather.
I thought the grid idea was a good idea, but I think I've changed my mind.
Did you order plenty of paper?
Yeah, it's all from my personal stash, actually.
Good.
Ordered by my husband. So,
Okay.
right. So we've got, just bear with me. We've got, so we need to vote on Councillor Mrs. Corf, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, and Councillor Heron. So as there are 3, I wonder if we should stick to what we did before, take a vote and then take a vote for the 3, then remove the lower number and take a vote on the 2. Yeah, because that's just for consistency.
Is everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah?
I would. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Who'd like to lead on?
So shall we take them in alphabetical order?
Yeah, can do.
So Councillor Mrs. Corf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5, 6? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 now. Yeah. Councillor Mrs. Hellier. 2, 3, 4. Councillor Heron. 2, 3, 4.
I know you got a preference. Right.
Councillor Heron, are you going to vote for yourself? Well, I think we've had more than 1 vote for people, because I've got 16 votes, whereas I should have only had 15.
Yeah.
Is that right, Richard? Yeah, he's nodding. I'm afraid we're going to have to do that again.
I voted for Councillor Corf.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're still not on. Oh no, that's right now. 8.
Yes.
Okay, so Councillor Mrs. Corf is 7, and then Councillor Hellier is 4, and Councillor Heron is 4. So to me, it would seem sensible to elect Councillor Mrs. Corf and then vote again between Councillor Hellier. Oh no, we only need 1, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
yes.
I think that's okay.
Councillor Corf.
I think we've got there.
Yes, so we now have completion. Councillor Corf being the final one. Well done, reaching the result there. So I think we can safely say that we've now sorted out the SFGP committee after a struggle. I'm sorry it's taken so long, but
is it time for a tea break?
I don't know really.
Just wait until you get to decarb.
Heather, could you read out what the final committee makeup is, please?
I could try. Okay, so we've got Councillor Bushby, Councillor Christie, Councillor Mrs. Corf, Councillor Ruth Craigie, Councillor Gubb, Councillor Lawrence, Councillor McGough, Councillor Ratcliffe, Councillor Mackenzie. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, everybody, very much indeed. We're moving on to the Tourism Committee now, which I'm sure will be a little easier. And currently we have Councillor Bushby, Councillor Mrs. Call, Councillor Mrs. Gubb, Councillor Hawkins, Councillor Lawrence, and Councillor Mrs. Langford on that committee. So do all of you wish to remain on that committee, or do some of you wish to come off that committee?
Happy to stay on that.
Thank you, Councillor Lawrence. Councillor Bushby? Do you wish to stay on that committee?
Sorry, yeah, I'm happy to stay, Chair. Mr.
Thank
Mayor.
you. Councillor Mrs. Corf?
Yeah, I'd like to stay, please.
Thank you. Councillor Mrs. Gubb?
Happy to stay, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hawkins?
Yeah, I'm happy to stay.
And Councillor Mrs. Langford?
Yeah, I'm happy, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Decarbonisation and Environment Committee. Councillor Mrs. Craigie.
Chair.
Yes.
Sorry. Did anyone else want to go on to that committee?
Pardon?
You didn't ask. You just assumed that the 6 wanted to remain.
Don't complicate things, Richard.
That's what I thought. That's why I kept quiet.
No, I enjoyed the last one so much.
You wait till I see you next. Sorry, does anybody else wish to sit on that committee? Does anybody wish to come off that committee? But everybody's agreed to stay on that committee. Do we wish to complicate that matter?
No.
Move
No, we
on
don't.
quickly.
Thank you very much. Right, moving on. Decarbonisation and Environment Committee. As I was saying, Councillor Mrs. Craigie, Councillor James Craigie, Councillor Heron, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, and Councillor Mackenzie. We have a vacancy currently on that. So,
I'd like to come off that, please, Chairman.
thank you, Councillor Mrs. Hellier. Okay. Councillor Mrs. Craigie, do you wish to stay or do you want to come
Yeah,
off?
I'd like to stay on that.
Jolly good. That's great. And Councillor James Craigie, do you wish to stay on that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Heron,
Yes, please.
staying.
Yes, please.
Thank you. And Councillor Mackenzie.
Yeah, please, I'll stay.
Jolly good. Okay, thank you. So we're
If I could, Mr. Mayor,
Sure.
I'd just like to point out that, this is a classic example of people playing to their own strengths. Councillor James Craigie, he did a fantastic presentation on this subject, back a while ago. And he's perfectly suited for that role. He's committed, he's passionate about it, and I'm delighted that he's staying on it because that's exactly that's his forte as far as I can see. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bush. I do agree because then we don't have to go back to go again, do we, and start? Because he's done a lot of the legwork already, so I think that's excellent.
Councillor Corf has got her hand raised.
Councillor Mrs. Corf.
Oh, hi, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to put myself forward to go onto this committee, please.
Well done. Thank you for that. Okay, and I think we're looking for one other councillor to sit on this committee. Am I right?
Sorry.
Councillor Mrs. Langford, sorry.
Sorry, I should have put my hand up. Yeah, I'd be quite interested in going on that if there's a space. Thank you.
Okay, and just before we no, I thought Councillor Hawkins had his hand up, but it's gone down now. So that's Councillor Mrs. Langford. So is everybody happy with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
That's 6.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, Heather?
Yeah, I'm happy with that as well.
Thank you. Grievance and Disciplinary Panel. That's the Town Mayor, Councillor Bushby, the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Mrs. Gubb, and Councillor McGough are currently on that. Does anybody wish to come off their panel or remain?
If I could, Mr. Mayor.
Please, Councillor Bushby.
I think, is it not customary for the town mayor and the deputy mayor to be split between the grievance and the appeals panel?
I think it's probably a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is. You can't be on both committees.
No.
So are we saying for town mayor, we're reading Councillor Ratcliffe? We're going back to that process again, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
So if I'm on grievance and disciplinary.
So really, Councillor Mrs. Gubb should come off
Yeah.
and she should go on personnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that okay? So
Yeah.
we've got a vacancy then. So I've got Councillor Ratcliffe, Councillor Bushby, Councillor McGough, and a vacancy on that panel.
Yeah.
So I've got all the hands going up. Councillor Christie.
Okay. Councillor Christie.
Yes, I was on it as town mayor. I'd like to stay on it actually, as I had a very interesting grievance during my mayoralty.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And Councillor Mackenzie's got his hand up as well.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Councillor Mackenzie.
You're muted, Councillor Mackenzie.
I was going to propose that he stayed on it myself, but I'd second it in the event of any other nominations coming forward.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations, or are we happy with that? Those that we have.
Sorry, can I just confirm? So I've got Councillor Mrs. Gubb, Councillor James Craigie, Councillor Mackenzie, and Councillor Christie.
No, you've lost me now.
No, I've lost myself.
No, yeah,
wrong committee.
Yeah, wrong committee. I've written it down in the wrong place.
Grievance and disciplinary.
Yeah, sorry. Councillor Ratcliffe, Councillor Bushby, Councillor McGough, and Councillor Christie.
Yeah.
Good job. I read that back, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well done.
Okay.
Quite happy with that, everyone. Very good. Personnel appeals panel. So we would have the deputy town mayor. So that's Councillor Mrs. Gubb.
Yep.
We got Councillor James Craigie.
Yep.
Councillor Mackenzie.
Yep.
If those two councillors are willing to stay on that panel.
I'm willing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
and then somebody who's not on grievance and disciplinary.
yes. Do we have another councillor who would like to sit in on the personnel appeals panel? Councillor Johns. We can't hear you, Councillor Johns. Can you unmute yourself? Thank you, Trevor. Thank you. I still can't hear you. I'm assuming you're going to say you'd like to sit on it.
Yeah, I'd like to stand on that, please.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Johns. You get that one, Heather?
Yeah. And Councillor Mackenzie's got his hand raised.
Councillor Mackenzie?
I was going to propose Councillor Langford if she would be so inclined. I think that she's a wise head that you could bring a lot to that committee in the event of any grievances, disciplinaries.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have Councillor Mrs. Langford, and we've also got Councillor Johns who shows an interest as well. So we've got a vacancy there. Would that bring us up to the full number, Heather?
It would bring us over because it's only 4.
That's what I thought. Okay, have we got anybody who would like to stand down or not? I'll take that as a no. So we have one councillor too many. Do we have a councillor who'd be prepared to stand down or not sit on that panel?
Well, I'm quite happy for Councillor Johns to take the spot, if that helps.
Well, it does, and that's very magnanimous of you as well.
No, that's okay.
All right, thank you ever so much, Councillor. So that would be Councillor Johns then, Heather.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
So that's a full quota there. Okay, sorry about that. Moving on to the neighbourhood plan. That's the Deputy Town Mayor, Councillor James Craigie, Councillor Mrs. Call, Councillor Heron, and Councillor Mrs. Langford. and there is a vacancy on that neighbourhood plan. So the Deputy Town Mayor, are we assuming that Councillor Government wants to sit on that, Heather? Or
Yes, yeah.
okay. Councillor James Craigie, are you willing to remain on the neighbourhood plan?
Definitely.
Okay, well done, thank you. Councillor Mrs. Corr.
Is that me?
Yeah, would you like to remain?
I'd like to stay on, please.
Okay, then. I'm just going to take the hand up from Councillor Mackenzie for a moment. Councillor Mackenzie?
You're muted, Jamie.
I was just going to suggest that since Councillor Gubb's on as Deputy Mayor, that perhaps Councillor Craigie would like to fill that vacancy because for continuity and because of the hard work and dedication she's put into it so far.
You said Councillor Craigie, which one?
Senior.
Senior.
Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Okay, so at the moment then we've got Councillor Gubb, Councillor Mrs. Craigie, Councillor Craigie, Councillor Mrs. Corr, Councillor Heron. Do you wish to remain on that panel?
Yeah. I think we were just about to crack it with the general public, but unfortunately COVID came along.
Okay. And Councillor Mrs. Langford, do you wish to
Yeah,
remain?
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. I think I'll be up to speed on that, Heather.
Yes. So it's Councillor Mrs. Well, it's all as is, apart from Councillor Mrs. Gubb comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Emergency Planning Work Group. Currently, Councillor Christie, as Mayor, was looking after things on the Planning Work Group. I'd be very pleased if he remained on that work group. But that, of course, is his choice. You've got Councillor Bushby, Councillor Craigie, Councillor Mrs. Gubb, Councillor Hawkins, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, and Councillor Mrs. Langford. So who would like to stay and who would like to come off?
I'd like to come off, please.
Thank
you.
Me too. I'd like to come off, please.
Right, so I've got, sorry, Councillor Mrs. Hellier, you want to come off? And who else wanted to come off?
Councillor Gubb and Councillor Bushby.
Okay. So that leaves us with Councillor Christie. Councillor Christie, do you wish to remain on the work group at the moment?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor James Craigie, do you wish to remain on that?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you. Councillor Hawkins?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll remain on there.
Councillor Mrs. Langford?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and I'll remain on it as well.
We could leave a vacancy for the new incoming councillor. They ought to be on at least one committee.
Yeah, they should really. Okay, is that all right, Heather? We all up to scratch on that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 5 plus a vacancy, but it's a working group, so
Well, yeah,
eight's and I think a lot of the work's already been done. So unless anybody else particularly wants to go on, I think we could probably go with that, unless the members feel otherwise.
Okay, we can always bring it up later at another meeting if we want to increase the number, can't we?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you everybody for that. Breathe a sigh of relief now.
Shall we do it on block vote for the whole
Yes.
lot?
Yes, please. So this is a vote for all the members sitting on the committees that we've just been discussing at great length. So if you wish to approve all of that.
We should have a proposer and a seconder.
Indeed. Do we have a proposer?
I'll propose.
I'll second.
Thank you. So that's proposed by Councillor Langford. I didn't quite catch who seconded
Councillor
it.
Mrs. Gubb.
Thank you, Councillor Mr. Right, let's take a vote then. Let's show which way we want to go.
Unanimous.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your input. I know it's taken time, but you know it makes sense. Okay, then. So this is the most interesting one of the evening, I guess, and that's number 11 on the agenda, and that's to appoint the internal auditor of accounts, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. I've been doing it for 2 years, and I appreciate Richard making me a nice cup of tea, which has been most welcome. Councillor Bushby.
I'd like to propose Councillor Lawrence.
Thank you. I'll second that.
Oh, hold on. No, that's okay. It just can't be a check signatory, but he won't be, so that's fine.
No. So that's proposed by Councillor Bushby, that Councillor Lawrence is the internal auditor of accounts.
Can I, before we go any further with that, happy to do it, but obviously as a market tenant, does that put me in a position where I shouldn't be?
I wouldn't have thought so.
I prefer not to. I think. Thank you very much for the nomination, Councillor Bushby, but I wouldn't want to.
Would there be a conflict there, Heather?
I think it is awkward because you'd have to look through other tenants' financial information.
Okay.
Could I then suggest Councillor Langford?
Councillor
Langford. Yeah, I'd be happy to do it, but I haven't ever done anything like that before.
An easy job, Charlie, the doddle.
Richard's a very good teacher. Yeah.
Yes, if people are happy, I'm happy to do it.
Well, I'm happy to second that proposal. And Richard is very good. So, okay, nobody else want to take the job? Don't all rush. No. Okay, then let's take Councillor Mackenzie. Sorry, we're trying to say something.
I might add, Councillor Ratcliffe, that you have a cup of tea where you never made me a cup of coffee. I'm just pointing that out for future dates with the checkbook.
Thank you. I should make a note of that. Okay, let's take it to the vote. Okay, Heather?
Yeah, that looks unanimous to me.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, everybody. Now we're going to appoint representatives to the outside bodies, and currently, and you should have a list in front of you, Bideford and District Community Archive Council, which Councillor Christie was sitting on, and also Councillor Mrs. Ruth Craigie. Now, Councillor Christie, do you wish to remain on that?
Well, I'm actually on it as a Bideford Bridge Trust member as well, but yes, I'd stay. I should explain, if people are wondering why we're on it, actually, because it is something I like to just tell other councillors about. When the Bideford Gazette moved to Barnstable, I managed to save all the files, but they were given to the town council. So all the old files of the Bideford Gazette belong to the town council. And this is why we are associated with it.
Well, I'm very pleased that you've decided to stay. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Councillor Mrs. Ruth Craig, you were down as a...
Yeah, I'm happy to stay on it if nobody else wants it, but I'm happy to give it up.
It is normally the town mayor and deputy mayor, but we don't have to stick to that.
No, I think if Peter and Ruth have been quite happy, then we'll let them stay.
Although maybe could Leslie say something? She's looking very eager.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, excuse me, Mr. Chairman. It is customary for the archive to have the mayor conduct their AGM, not the person, it is the mayor.
Right. So I will have to ask either Councillor Christie or Councillor Mrs. Craigie to come off that then.
No, I'm happy to come off.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Thank you, Leslie. So that's
okay. Thank you, Leslie. Bideford Bridge Trust. We've got down as town mayor.
That is a position for the mayor. They do ask for the mayor, so
yeah.
So that needs to be you. Yeah.
Councillor Mrs. Gubb. She's sitting on that till June 24th, but June.
Yeah, they're not up for grabs. Yeah, it's
No. So we can. So we're
we
not
can
worried
move
about
on
those.
from that one. Yeah.
Yeah, move on. Okay, then that's fine. Good, good. Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Bushby, and the Market Committee Chair.
So the chair will need to be elected. Yeah. So we'll advise once the chair's been elected, if that's okay.
Yeah, is that all right with everybody? Okay.
Yep.
All right, Bideford Twinning Association.
Yeah, again, it's normally the mayor.
Okay, and we've got a vacancy. Can I just ask, with regard to the Bideford Twinning Association, is that just for Landavisia or does that include Manteo as well?
It's just the Londonvisio one.
So we shouldn't really have just a twinning association just for one town, should we? Because we're twin with two.
But I don't know that Manteo have got a twinning association. I think it's only Londonvisio that have one in Bideford.
Okay, I'll just asking.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heather. Bideford Regatta Committee, Town Mayor.
Oh, what about what about the vacancy for the twinning?
Indeed. Does
Councillor
anybody wish to be on the Twinning Association?
Councillor Johns, by the look of things.
Councillor Johns. Trevor, you need to unmute. You need to unmute.
Is that better? Yeah.
Thanks,
Try
Trevor.
to stand, please.
Yes? Okay. So as Councillor Johns would like to fill that vacancy. Please, Heather.
Yes, yeah, fine.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, thank you, Councillor Johns. Bideford Regatta Committee, Town Mayor, and the other councillor we have is down as Councillor Mrs. Gubb. So would you want the Town Mayor and the Deputy Mayor on that committee or not?
I think that would be okay if you both willing to sit on it.
Okay, Councillor Gubb.
Yeah, I'm on that committee anyway, so that's fine.
Okay, everybody happy with that?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay then, thank you. Bideford Town Band Management Committee, we got Councillor Johns on that. Do you wish to remain on that, Councillor Johns? You'll need to unmute yourself, Trevor. Unmute, that's it.
Is that better? Yeah. I'd like to remain in that position.
Okay. Is everybody happy with that? Yeah, good, okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to Burton at Bideford. That's not the menswear shop either, I'm talking about.
Can we defer this one?
Pardon? Can
we defer this one? We've had communication with the new chair of the trustees, Tim Ierson, and he said that he has a full complement of 9 trustees. They meet bi-monthly and the next meeting is in June, but he has offered to come along to a tourism meeting to share information that could be useful. And so the tourism committee will be able to speak to him about this.
Okay.
I believe that Leslie inquired with him about the trustees because I think the current trustees hadn't been invited to any meetings. They'll be able to confirm or otherwise, but
Okay,
I think that needs to be deferred.
Yeah, we'll leave that one on the back burner then for now.
Oh, Councillor Heron's got his hand up.
I can confirm I've had nothing from the Burton in 2 years.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Lawrence.
And Councillor Heron.
And Councillor Heron.
Yeah, I speak to Ian at the Burton quite regularly. I was surprised I'd never heard anything from the council to do with. I didn't really understand what my role was there at the Burton. I didn't understand.
Well, then we need to find out, really, don't we?
We're going to invite them along to a tourism committee so that they can explain that.
And then we'll find out a little more.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. Excuse me, Mr. Chair. With speaking to Ian and with Tim Ierson and the previous chair of their trustees, Judith Gentry, the original idea was that they had 2 representatives from the town council to give them a feeling of what was going on in the town, for more inclusion in what was going on in the town. And that was the original idea. Because they've changed their structure a little bit now, and they're looking more from a tourism point of view, I decided it would probably be a good idea to have them come along to a tourism meeting, and it may be that there could be members of the tourism committee that would be more suitable for the role that they're looking for. Does that explain?
Yep, okay, that's fine. Thank you. Well, we'll just wait to hear from them then as to what they're going to do. Thanks, Leslie, very much. Citizens Advice Bureau, Councillor James Craigie. Do you wish to remain on that?
Yeah, I'm happy to remain, but if anyone wants to have a go, then welcome to.
Does anybody want to have a bash, or are we going to allow young James to continue? It looks like you've got it in the bag. Okay, thank you very much. DLALC County Committee, that's Councillor Mrs. Craigie. Do you wish to continue doing that, Ruth? Or
No, thank you.
no? Okay then. So do we have another volunteer who'd like to do that? No? We might have to leave that one empty at the moment. Is there any thoughts?
It's usually the same person does both roles because they're very connected.
Which, what, and the larger council?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, well, Councillor Mrs. Craigie was on that as well, so I guess that she may not want to do that one either.
No, thank you.
Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah. Right.
you are right.
Doesn't happen very often. Okay. So do we have a councillor who would like to sit on the county committee and the larger council's subcommittee? If we've got nobody who's interested, we'll have to leave those open at the moment then, Heather.
Okay.
Okay, Polyfield Community Association, currently Councillor Mrs. Gubb.
Yeah, I haven't had any contact with them, so I'll just stand down for that one, please.
Okay, do we have anybody else who would like to go into the Polyfield Community Association? I'm sure it's a very worthwhile, challenging position to be in.
I think it's probably pointless, Chair. I was before Jude and I never got contacted or had any dealings with them on any level. I think we should just break all ties. I think that there's something going on there that we don't want to associate ourselves with.
It's a great shame because a lot of hard work was put into Polyfield many years ago. So that's a great shame. Okay, well, I respect what you say. Sorry.
Chair. I'll volunteer for Polyfield.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Mrs. Gubb. Mrs. Craigie. So that's Councillor Mrs. Craigie then on Polyfield Community Association, Heather.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay, that's lovely, thank you. Home Start Torridge, we've got Councillor Mrs. Corp on that at the moment.
Really enjoyed doing that, but I'd like to step down this time, please.
Okay, thank you. So do we have another councillor who would like to step into Councillor Corp's shoes for Home Start Torridge?
Yeah, I'll do that one.
Okay, Councillor Mrs. Craigie, thank you for that. Moving on to Bideford Bay Children's Centre, which is currently Councillor Mrs. Langford.
Well, I'm happy to carry on, but I have to admit to being very useless at it in that I tried several times to make contact with them and I didn't get any response back. And I think there was then one meeting that I couldn't go to because we were away and James Craigie went in my stead. But apart from that, I've had no communication with them at all. So I'm happy to stay on it and to persevere, but if anybody else has a relationship already with them and would therefore like to take over, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll ask the council, is there anybody else who would be interested in?
Yeah, I'm willing to take that on. It does seem that Torridge, though, is run from North Devon rather than Torridge. So it's sort of an adjunct to Barnstable rather than having its own management team. I think that's probably why Councillor Langford's had a bit of challenge trying to get the response there, because this doesn't seem to be a management team on the Bideford side.
Is that something you may be willing to go in and try and sort out for us, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can make contact with the Barnstable people and see if I can try and re-engage and find out how we could get a management.
Yeah, well, I think you can do that, can't you? Yeah. Okay, so you're happy to do that then?
Yeah, I'm happy to try at least.
All right, okay. Good man, thank you. Tor Torridge Estuary Forum. That's Councillor Johns at the moment.
Mr. Mayor, could I step down from that position, please?
You'd like to step down? Okay, Trevor. Is there anybody else who'd like to step into Councillor John's shoes?
Can I ask when the meetings are, Trevor?
4 times a year, once in the town hall and alternate up in Barnstaple.
Are the evenings?
Yes, evenings, yes.
I'll take that one on, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Mackenzie. Okay, UNESCO Biosphere Champion, Councillor James Craigie.
Happy to
currently
continue
there.
that.
You're happy to stay on?
But likewise, if anyone wants to have a go, because it is quite interesting.
Does anybody else want to have a go? Are we going to let Councillor Craigie have another year at it? He looks like he wants another year at it. Okay, we'll take that as read. Okay, thank you, Councillor Craigie. Snow Wardens.
Sorry, Councillor Heron had his hand up then.
Councillor Heron, sorry. You've gone off my radar here.
That's all right, Councillor. Mr. Mayor, I was just going to suggest to James, if he wants to switch, I wouldn't mind switching, but if he's happy staying where he is, then all is good.
Okay, all right then. Snow Warden, Councillor Johns and Councillor Mackenzie. Are you still quite happy to flick some grit down if you need to?
I'm quite happy, yes.
Thank you, Councillor Johns.
We've managed the snow and ice very well this last few years, haven't we, Trevor?
It's gone that quickly, I never even saw it.
No.
Okay, Bideford Town Centre Partnership, Councillor Bushby and Councillor Mrs. Corr.
I want to stay on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Councillor
want to stay, please.
Okay. Fire Service Liaison, Councillor McGough.
Stay, please.
Okay, thank you, Councillor McGough. Police Liaison, Councillor Mackenzie.
If I could step down from that one, but could I propose that Councillor Hellier fills that role? Because I think she's got that role on another council already, and it makes sense. It's joined up thinking, really.
Okay, well, we'll now ask Councillor Hellier if she would like that to do that for us.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Super, thank you very much. That's great. One Atlantic, Councillor Hawkins.
Yeah, I'm happy to stay there at the moment. Thank you.
Well done, thank you. And Westcroft School Governors Board, Councillor Mrs. Corr.
I'm happy to let someone else do that. Unfortunately, even though I've got a son that goes to that school, I sent emails and calls. I even approached the new headmaster, and I was never invited to a meeting.
No,
Not
okay.
sure what happened.
So, would anybody else like to have a go at that, or should we leave that vacancy open?
Councillor Heron has his hand
I'll have a
up.
go at Westcroft.
Okay then. Thank you, Councillor Heron. That concludes that piece of business.
Shall we have a non-block vote for that?
Yes, indeed. So all those in favour?
Can I have a proposer and a seconder?
We do
I'll
indeed.
propose.
I'll second
Me.
it.
Thank you. Let's take a vote.
That's unanimous.
Thank you, Heather. Now, approving the dates of the meetings and the functions for the council year. Everybody had a copy of that. I should have had a good look just to see what's going on over the next year. And if we're quite happy, we'll vote on that. We'll have a proposer and a seconder.
Oh, Councillor Mrs. Corf's got a hand up.
Councillor Mrs. Corf.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I'm going to have to go. I've got 2 young children that I really need to go and get into bed. We don't usually have council meetings when they're not at their dad's.
Well, thank you very much.
Congratulate everyone on their positions, including the mayor and deputy mayor, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye. So that was to approve the dates of meetings and the functions for the civic year. So,
I'll propose them.
thank you. I'll second them. Can you take a vote? Okay, Heather?
Yeah, I think that's unanimous. So just for Richard, that'll be 14 now.
Yeah.
Because Councillor Mrs. Corf has just left the meeting.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you. Item 14 on the agenda, that's to inspect the deeds in the custody of the council.
So obviously I've not got them here with us,
No.
with me. So if anybody would like to come in and see them, they're in our safe. So
Yeah,
please do.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, item 15 on the agenda, planning committee, and that's to approve and adopt the minutes of the meeting held on the 22nd of April.
That's actually me, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councillor Christie.
Right, I'll present these minutes held on 22nd of April. Item 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Sorry?
Somebody say something?
No. 51A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and 52, I beg to move.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take a vote. Is that the 14, Heather?
No, there's 2 abstentions. That's 12.
Yeah.
2 abstentions.
Okay, thank you. Item 16 on the agenda, that's a staffing, finance and general purposes committee. And to approve and adopt the minutes of the meeting held on 29th of April 2021. The chairman, Councillor Bushby.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, the first page, which is numbered 100, over to 101, 102.
Oh, Councillor Bushby, could I
Yeah.
just ask you to mention about the Welcome Back Fund, please?
Oh,
Unless you want me
can.
to.
Well, you've mentioned it, Heather, you carry on.
Okay, so I've tried to circulate as much information as possible on the Welcome Back Fund, but we've had this information in quite a lot of a rush, really. So it wasn't all available at the meeting when the ideas for the projects were put forward. There was just a couple of things I wanted to mention. So in order to get the funding from the district council, we will need to be willing to sign a service level agreement as financial delivery partners, and we'll need to make sure that the funds are spent in line with the procurement and scope guidelines. So that's quite important. We'd also be liable for any spend that does not fall within these guidelines, and we would have to also pay for the projects up front and then claim the project, the funding back. We have enough funds to be able to do that, so I don't see that as an issue. But one of the things I wanted to mention was the paperwork can be quite onerous, but we're able to bid for a 4% administration fee from within the funds that are allocated, and I would like us to do that, please, so that we can buy some administrative time to deliver these projects. Otherwise we're going to struggle with that.
Okay, well, I'll propose that in a second, Heather, and I'll get a second.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so anything else on page 102? If not, 103. And I will propose the suggestion by the clerk that we bid for a sum of money. I'm not sure exactly what that sum will be, but it'll be used to buy clerical time, administrative time to actually see this project through to completion, because clearly, you know, the town team, the town centre, sorry, the office staff are pretty well up to here at the moment. So I'll propose that. Can I have a second there?
Yep, I'll second that.
Okay, have a show of hands, please.
So we do have Councillor Christie who'd like to speak as well.
Okay,
Councillor Christie, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I did a rough calculation about how much money we get because it's being distributed on a pro rata basis to the 4 towns on basis of population. And I've sent it to Heather. I think it's about £2,500 we're going to bid for.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Chris. I'd like to move those minutes, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Bushby. So we need to take a vote on that, please.
Seconder, please.
I'll second that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Done.
That looks unanimous to me.
Thank you, Heather. DALC item 17 on the agenda. That's to receive an update from Councillor Mrs. Craigie and to consider any actions arising. Councillor Mrs. Craigie.
We haven't had any meetings.
No, okay then. Thank you for that. Item 18 on the agenda, Torridge District Council to receive an update on TDC Council's activities by one of the councillors, if you wish to actually tell us what they've been up to down there at Bank House.
I'll start if I may, Chair.
Thank you.
Members will probably have already heard that at the last AGM, I was proposed and voted in as the new chair of Torridge District Council. One of the big items that we've got obviously at the moment is the reopening of leisure facilities across the district. You know, Holsworthy, Torrington and Bideford. Some are up and running to a certain degree at the moment. Others should be coming on stream fairly soon or as soon as possible. Any Councillor Christie or Councillor McGough, if they've got anything else that they would like to add as board members.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else like to say something, or not, as the case may be?
Well, we have to finish all our Zoom meetings soon, and we're having one very soon. Actually, we're not sure where we're going yet, because obviously Torridge is more than twice the size of this council. I have suggested we use the Pannier Market. I'm sure Torridge will pay us for it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Handsomely as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to put the heating on in the Pannier Market.
Yeah, put it on low.
If we keep it cold, perhaps we'll keep the hot air to a minimum and people will go home early.
Yeah. Good for you. Number 19, Bideford Bridge Trust. That's to receive an update on Bridge Trust activities by one of the trustees. Councillor Christie, I guess, would you like to?
Yeah, I'll do that. Our income this month was £75,000. We spent £28,000 on our estate, and we only spent £1,400 on grants, which is the lowest I can ever remember. We've got £870,000 in cash. We gave out 3 individual grants, 2 student grants, and 3 grants to organisations. We've also, the business startup grants have started again, and I've seen 8 candidates in the last few weeks. And there was one thing come up. We have been approached by someone who wants to put on a community feast in the Pannier Market in September. I hope the market committee know about that. Is there anyone on here who knows about that?
No.
No.
Not yet. The lady has spoken to Chris Farris, and she's looking for some funding money at the moment. So we're going to talk to her about that.
Okay, Heather, thank you.
I don't know if there are any questions on the Bridge Trust.
No, have you got any questions for Councillor Christie? No? Okay. Yes, Councillor Mackenzie.
Is it a physical meeting on Thursday, Peter? I'm hoping it is. I think it is, isn't it?
It's a physical meeting, yes.
Okay, see you there.
So that's the end of the meeting, everybody. Thank you very, very much indeed. It's taken just over 2 hours, so it's not bad considering. So I'm very pleased with that. And next time we meet up, we should all be live and be able to stare at each other across the room, I hope. So that should be exciting in itself, I guess. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Look after yourselves and we'll.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Bye.
Bye.
Evening.
Bye.
Bye.
James,
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, Heather.
James,
Thank you.
Craigie.